There is something that is a great irony, and that is the collaboration between the extreme left and the Muslim world, the broader Muslim world. And that is that they're bedfellows. They actually both collaborate together, even though they have completely different values. The Islamic world would never tolerate the extreme left's values and actually would kill them for it. But they have a common enemy right now, and the common enemy is the West. Israel, the West, it's all the West. Common enemies. And that's why the extreme left hate, even if they are Westerners, they hate the West and they demonize the West, and that's exactly what Islam does. And this is something we have to notice, this collaboration that's going on. And this is expressed in this video very eloquently.
Jews and Arabs, or not Jews and Muslims. We're just, green people and red people, or green people and blue people, or whatever. And one side did what that side did on October 7th. I think it would be very clear to me what the situation there is and what the response was likely to be, right? This is the point I keep making over and over. I don't even have a dog in the fight, particularly. If you stand back and look at what's happening, it's quite clear what's happened there. I watched it with my own eyes. I watched it when on October 8th there were people parading with Palestine flags in the streets of London, right? That is not people who want freedom. That's people who celebrate terrorism. So whatever the backgrounds and the religions behind it is kind of irrelevant. That particular conflict is as simple as that to me, right? There is a side that celebrates terrorism, and it celebrates killing civilians, and it celebrates that, and there's a side that doesn't. Which one of those is right? To me, it's pretty obvious.
It should be a real warning shot that there are a lot of people in our own midst who will make common cause with others who loathe us,
because they love us as well.
Even though instinctively those two groupings don't get on.
Well, no, they do get on because they both loathe us.
Yes, that's the point.
They get on beautifully. Because the people on the left who've been taught to hate their own society and the terrorist sympathizers, they all hate the West, and they all hate the values that we have. So why wouldn't they make common cause? It makes perfect sense.
In the short term.
In the short term.
Because many of those people who hate the West that are travelling at the moment would be seen with those terrorists, would be seen by the terrorists as useful idiots.
Oh yeah, but of course, but they never. The useful idiots are called useful idiots because they're idiots.
For a reason.
Yeah. Because they're idiots and they don't see that or think about it. Because they're more interested in the feelings that they have than the reality that they're dealing with.
See, it's another one of those inversions that you were talking about. That's what it is.
Of course, complete inversion. But it's quite logical, which is why ultimately we have to say what I just said, which is, and what I'm planning to say at ARC. Our civilization is very special. It's very, very good in compared to every other civilization available. We got to be, every human being is, I think, is a kind of, ideally the right balance between pride and shame, right? There's certain things that you have a pride about, and pride is, a sin in Christianity, and for a good reason. But also we're all should be able to be proud of certain things that we've done and feel like, I did that, that was good, yeah. And also there's shame. There's things that I've done and you've done and every human being alive in human history has done that they're ashamed of, right? It's about having the right balance between the two. I don't want our society to be blind to its errors. I don't want what, increasingly is happening in Russia, where you're only allowed one version of history. No, I think our leaders from the past should be capable of being criticized. I do. But that has to be factually based. It has to be based on the reality and the
balanced.
And balanced. And it's just, what's true for a human being is true for a society. We have to have the right balance. And I think we have to teach our children and remind ourselves that we are right to be proud, pleased with, happy about, have a sense of affinity for the place in which we live and the lineage from which we come, whether that's culturally or genetically or whatever. That's fine. It's good to be to have a sense of confidence. And I remember it's funny that this has to be explained. Like I have lots of friends in Ukraine, for example, who, if you say to them, if you ask them about where they're from, they will tell you the city that they're from, and then they will tell you how proud they are to be from that city. They will say, we have Philharmonic Orchestra there, and we have this beautiful church. They speak about the place in which they live with a sense of pride. It's not because they hate everyone else. They just have a passion for the place in which they live, and inculcating that in ourselves and in our children, I think, is very important. And in the way that applies to your local town, that should also apply to your country.
Yeah, well, let me explain. He seemed to be a little bit apologetic about the idea of the Ukrainians being proud of their cities, because in Christianity, pride is a negative thing. In Judaism, pride is also a negative thing, but we're talking about two different types of pride. There's a pride which is arrogance, and then there's a pride which is confidence. Confidence and arrogance are two very different things. And pride of confidence is not only is it healthy, but it's actually necessary for someone to thrive. Pride, which is arrogance, is not only unhealthy, but it's actually destructive. It actually brings things down. So one is where I have an inflated ego. I feel that I'm superior to other people. The other is that I put an effort into something, and I am proud that I worked on this thing and helped to develop it, etc., etc. But that doesn't make me any more superior to anyone else. It's the superiority which is the problem. Everyone should be proud of whatever it is that they are a part of. If you're not proud of it, why are you a part of it? If you're not proud of America, get out of America. Right? Why would you stay in a country that you're not proud of, that you so despise? Why would you stay in such a country? I am very proud of America. I think America is possibly the greatest country in the world. I'm going to say outside of Israel, because Israel is a holy land that was designed that way by God. But outside of Israel, America as a country and as a people are what I would refer to as a country of great kindness that has brought freedom to millions, probably at this point, billions of people, and does it in the most kind, generous way. And that's with all the faults of America. America is not by any means perfect, but it is the best, the best country that's brought the greatest freedoms throughout the world.